Where do you find a little Irish history and culture? At a castle here in Ireland.
Welcome to Laura McKenzie's Traveler.
Hi, I'm Laura McKenzie, and welcome to Ireland, one of the most beautiful countries I've been to, and so full of surprises. You'll be driving down the road, and boom, you'll see a castle, or an abbey, or a cute little village like this one, and you say, stop, I've got to take a picture. Well, Ireland's like that. It's serendipitous, full of new and exciting discoveries. And you know what? We're going to discover it together. If your idea of Ireland consists of cottages, castles, and shamrocks, you'd be right to a point. But there is another side to the Emerald Isle that you may not know. It's cosmopolitan, it's diverse, and it's trendy. But never fear, it's still full of traditional Irish culture and fun. It's the capital of Ireland, Dublin, filled to the brim with great restaurants, a new tram system called the Luas, fabulous shopping, and some terrific pubs. But the wonders of Dublin are not confined to the city streets alone. The natural wonders of Dublin are astounding, from her view of the Wicklow Mountains and Dublin Bay to the River Liffey, which flows through the city, separating it into northern and southern halves. Alluring, isn't it? Just a little too tempting to foreign invaders who for centuries were drawn to the banks of the Liffey. The first to invade were the Vikings, who established a settlement where present-day Dublin's located. The Irish managed to get rid of this settlement, but it was quickly replaced by the British, whose oppression lasted for 7 centuries. The Irish revolted against the English, but it was the political maneuvering of their leaders in the 19th and 20th centuries that finally gave Ireland its independence. Today, there are lots of English influences in Irish society, from the language to the side of the road they drive on. But aside from these, there are also concrete reminders of the British occupation. Dublin Castle has stood as a symbol of British power in Ireland for over 700 years. Every castle has to have guards, right? Well, here at Dublin Castle, the guards would stand in here. They'd stand here with their guns and they'd have their bayonets, and then they'd get off duty and they'd go over here to the guardhouse. And over here is something you gotta see. Well, over here is the entrance to the guardhouse. They'd come in out of here, they'd hang out, they'd smoke. Well, you see these grooves right here? You know what this is? This is where they would sharpen their bayonets. Look at all these cuts in the stone. I think that's great. The castle has served as a royal residence, the parliamentary building, a military garrison, and home to the lower courts. Today, it's mainly a tourist attraction, although conferences and presidential inaugurations do occur here as well. But who knows what other purposes the castle might have performed? It's still revealing its secrets. This is my favorite part of the castle. They just discovered this in 1986 when they were doing renovations. Part of the moat, a medieval tower, and the city wall to the castle. Look at this. There's the wall. There's an archway that used to be open, and the boats would come through here. We're going down the moat right now, past the 13th century tower, around the corner, and into the entrance to the castle. The boats would come right here. They would unload here. This was a landing. In fact, if you look up here, you can see the archway I just showed you, the wall, the moat and the river going by, the tower I just showed you, and the landing and the stairs going in, which is right here. So this is the landing. They unload and they come into the castle here. Isn't this great? With its history of oppression behind them, the only invaders to Dublin today are the tourists who flock to the city's famous attractions and pubs. And while Dublin's reputation for outgoing hospitality is nowhere near what it used to be, probably due to its new and younger prosperity, the folks here are still pleasant enough. And for some of that camaraderie of yesterday, I found the most inviting part of Irish society is their pub culture. Before you go on a pub crawl, you've got to take 3 things. 1, a sense of fun. 2, your Guinness t-shirt. And 3, the knowledge of an old Gaelic saying which goes, Is sminnig of rish bailed in a shrone. Translated, that means a person's mouth often gets his nose broken. Think about it. Say the wrong thing, pow! Come on, let's go have some fun. But the one thing you won't have to bring is crack, spelled C-R-A-I-C, because they have plenty of that in every Irish pub. What's crack, you ask? Roughly translated, it means good conversation and fun. Now, bars in America might conjure up images of drinking dens, but pubs serve a much higher purpose in Ireland. Here, they're the social centers of the community. And while taverns in Dublin are not as cozy as their country counterparts, they're still the place to go to soak up a little Irish dancing and music. O'Donoghue's, one of the most famous pubs here. Here's where you come for some good Irish whiskey, a pint of Guinness, and some live music. Ah, I love the traditional music, kind of like the folk songs of the 60s. Everybody now. Check out the Irish dancers. I'd love to be able to do that. Like I said, you don't need to drink to enjoy an Irish bar, but it sure helped put me in the Irish mindset. And if you're gonna drink, then there's a Gaelic word you have to learn. It's pronounced sláinte, which roughly translates to cheers. Here's a tip. Inform credit cards of your itinerary to prevent canceled cards for overseas fraud.
Laura McKenzie's Traveler will be right back.
Welcome back. For more information on Dublin, go to lauramckenzietv.com. Now, you'll find a pretty good pint just about anywhere in Ireland, but the place that touts the best pint is at the top of the Guinness factory, called the Gravity Bar. It's here that I learned what makes a perfect pint. And it's not just the freshest ingredients, it's also the pour. Didn't know there was a knack to it.
There's a knack to everything in life, but mainly the perfect pint is 6 steps to put on the perfect pint.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to go through those 6 steps, Laura, with you.
Please.
Okay. Right, Laura, what we do first of all, we grab a nice, clean, dry glass. Like this. We put it at a 45 degrees angle up against the nozzle, pulling it forward towards you, so that it comes up 3/4 way high on the glass.
3/4 way high, what is that?
Up 3/4, up as far as the heart.
Pay attention to this next part. It's the most important. You just sit back and let it settle for 2 minutes. That's the secret.
It's roughly about 2 minutes. And what's happening in those 2 minutes, believe it or not, is the gas, this mixing of the gas, it's nitrogen and CO2. And that's what takes the time to make this the perfect pint. As you can see from here, this is what's happening. It's going up, it's going down, it's creating a surge. When it reaches the top after the 2 minutes, that's what we call going back then for black. We release the gas pressure and we clear it then to a nice creamy head on top. And that's what we call the perfect pint.
Okay. Once it's settled, it's still not done yet. We have to put the top on now.
Very well. Laura, what we do here now is, this is very important, this part, Laura. Okay. We keep the glass straight at this time. We don't tilt the glass at 45 degrees. We keep it straight. We push it back this time, not forward.
What does that
back
do?
is released that little bit more. There's not as much gas going in. And it keeps the head, it slows it up. So it's back this time. Nice and straight. Up to proud of the rim of the glass. And proud of the rim of the glass is meaning that it's not supposed to spill over the top of the glass, because it's for presentation. As you know, everything looks so well.
Yes.
No spillage. So that's what you call now a perfect pint.
Does look gorgeous. And what do you do with a perfect pint?
Now we're going to have a drink it.
Well, you drink it, of course.
Ah, let's have it here. Sláinte.
Sláinte.
Sláinte. Okay, lads? Ah.
But don't take your Guinness and run. There's much more to the factory than just the perfect pint. There's a museum, a store, and even a Guinness waterfall. Doesn't that look delicious? Ah, and if you think the Guinness is good, check out the view from the gravity bar. Now that's perfect. Just makes you want to get out and see the town, doesn't it? But wait, before you do, there's something to remember. A lot of the things you're going to want to see here in Dublin are not exactly accessible to everybody. Wear comfortable walking shoes, and remember, ramps, they don't have every place. Stairs, gonna have to hoof it. With that said, on to the attractions. Almost 800 years old. I love this. You know, this is really all that remains of the old city wall. In fact, right in front of the wall here, it used to be called Cook Street. Back in the old days, this is where they would do all the cooking. Everybody would be lined up and doing all the food for inside because they were afraid to start fires in there. And a lot of the streets were named after things that were on them, like Bull Alley Street or Sheep Street. I wonder if there was a Jewelry Street. Bet there was. While its name may not be Great Stuff You've Been Looking For Street, that's exactly what you'll find on Grafton Street. Because whether it's food, music, or merchandise, they've got it. Hey, it's cheaper than it looks on Grafton Street. They have VAT refunds, value-added tax that you can get back because you're a foreign visitor. Between 13 and 21% you get back. Now that's incredible. And you know what? If you can find a sale, oh, faith and Bigorra, you're lucky as a leprechaun. And why is it that when you're traveling, it's such a big draw to shop for souvenirs? You know, a lot of people come to Dublin to go to the Genealogy Museum to discover their family history. Well, for those who have a little bit more casual interest in their Irish background, you can discover your family crest. Let's see, McKenzie. I'm not on here. Maybe I'm from Scotland. McKenzie. But don't spend all your euros in one place, because a visit to Dublin isn't complete without a tour of some of Dublin's more popular shopping and partying spots. You'll love the maze of little streets lined with all these great places to wine and dine and hear live music. Temple Bar, an area of pubs, not a pub. But it wasn't always like this. In the 20th century, Temple Bar suffered from urban decay and was abandoned to Dublin's derelicts. Through renewal projects, these medieval streets were transformed into the city's center for nightlife and shopping. A great place to walk around. Now, to get to Temple Bar, this area is just a half a block in from the river. So have a cab drop you at one of the city's most famous landmarks, the Happiny Bridge. The actual name is Halfpenny Bridge because until 1919, you had to pay a half a penny toll to cross. Thankfully today, it's free. So now that we're out walking the sights, how about that fickle Irish weather, eh? Summer in Dublin is the warmest it's going to get, obviously. But even then, it's kind of cool. It only gets up at about the 60s. When it clouds over, starts to rain, you know what? You're going to freeze. The best advice I can offer is to wear layers and have a raincoat or an umbrella handy for the showers that invariably blow in when you least expect it. Here's a tip. Pack shirts flat on wire hangers on top, then lift them all out at once and hang.
Laura McKenzie's Traveler will be right back.
Welcome back. For more information on Dublin, go to lauramckenzietv.com. Whether you're walking or driving in Dublin, you're bound to run into one or two of its famous Georgian neighborhoods, looking just about the same as they did in the 18th century. We've got a green door, a blue door, a black door, a red door, a yellow door. Apparently in the late 1700s, a man coming home wanted to make sure he was getting in the right bed, so he'd paint his door a little bit different color from his neighbors. However, they do have a lot in common, slightly different. They all have the peacock windows, they all have a boot scraper, and some, if they were really special, would have a lantern light over the door, so we could light a flame to bring them home. Some of these homes and neighborhoods are still residences today, but many of them have found new lives as offices, apartment complexes, and even shopping malls. Some have been preserved as they were to commemorate the lives of the people who lived in them. Every building has a story here in Dublin, and the stories that really matter get a plaque. Like this one? The circle plaque here tells me that Oscar Wilde lived here. You know, the importance of being earnest. The portrait of Dorian Gray tells me when he was born, when he died, when he lived here, what he did. So you check the plaque, and you get the scoop. Can't get enough Oscar? Well then, why not go and see him for yourself? Across the street from Oscar Wilde's house is a little park where you can see Oscar himself lounging on a rock, totally misunderstood. And then we have little columns here that show some of his sayings, like experience is the name everyone gives his mistakes, and I can resist everything except temptation and chocolate. Well, I added that. And if you're a book buff, then you're on the right island, because Ireland is home to numerous literary greats, from Samuel Beckett to Roddy Doyle. But a true Dubliner will tell you the city's literary treasure was James Joyce, whose works like Dubliners and Ulysses described life here in 20th century Dublin. And if you want to see James, then head to St. Stephen's Green, which, despite its central location, is a beautiful oasis from the busy city. This incredible area is Dublin's Central Park. And for a true respite from the noise of the city, then it's time to head to the most luxurious hotel here, the Four Seasons Dublin. In a convenient but quiet location less than 10 minutes from downtown, the Four Seasons Dublin captures the magical character of the city. The Dublin-inspired Georgian design blends into this charming area of ivy-covered homes and embassies. From the moment you arrive, you know you've discovered something special. Check-in is swift and efficient, and the 24-hour concierge service is always ready to arrange any dining or sightseeing request you might have. With 196 guest rooms and suites, the Four Seasons Dublin offers the city's most extensive selection of accommodations, with guest rooms ranging from superior and deluxe rooms to magnificent suites, the most luxurious and spacious rooms in the city. All rooms have down pillows and duvets, with twice-daily housekeeping and turn-down service. The Four Seasons has several dining options to choose from. Seasons Restaurant offers a new dining experience in Dublin, with a menu that rivals some of the best restaurants in Europe. For relaxing, the Lobby Lounge also overlooks the garden courtyard, a beautiful outdoor living space. The perfect meeting place with a view for morning coffee, afternoon tea, or evening cocktails. Cocktails can also be enjoyed in the cozy wood-paneled bar next door. But for drinks with an edge, the Ice Bar is the trendy meeting place in Dublin. With stylish modern design, the Ice Bar features contemporary paintings and sculpture by well-known Irish artists. After a night here, you'll begin to consider it one of Ireland's national treasures. But the real treasures are a stone's throw away. And while the Irish jewels were stolen from Dublin Castle in 1907, there are plenty of other valuables to enjoy at the National Museum of Ireland, filled with everything from gorgeous silver and pottery to military items. Here's a tip. Pack a photocopy of your passport and driver's license in case yours is lost or stolen.
Laura McKenzie's Traveler. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. For more information on Dublin, go to lauramckenzietv.com. You don't have to go to a museum to appreciate the riches of Irish society. It's all around Dublin, from the traditional pubs to the trendy area of Temple Bar. But this new prosperity has also brought them well into the 21st century. There's plenty to do and see, better restaurants and hotels, and there's still the history, the culture, and the rest of this incredible country of Ireland to explore. It's beautiful here, isn't it? I hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit of Ireland with me, and that you'll join me again next time from another terrific destination somewhere else around the world. I'm Laura McKenzie. Bye-bye.